leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a full-time receptionist/accounts payable administrator. AP or general accounting experience preferred. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, one of President Trump's former advisors spent 10 hours behind closed doors yesterday, but refused to answer any questions about the Russia investigation. We'll have the latest.
Plus, the new tax code will trickle down to save you on your power bill. We'll tell you how FP&L now says it can avoid a surcharge due to costs from Hurricane Irma.
And is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's not, but we're going to tell you why the skies lit up over Michigan last night. Those stories and more right now, coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning, up to Wednesday now. Big change in the weather this afternoon, John.
Yeah, you'd hardly notice it outside right now.
No.
It's cool, but it's comfortable enough near the 50-degree mark. But tonight, especially tomorrow morning, freezing weather anticipated.
Now, is there any effect on hurricane season when it starts off as like a really cold start to the year? Does it help or hurt the season?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, not so much. Actually, last month was warmer than average.
Okay.
And this month, yes, we've had a couple of cold snaps here, and we're running about 2 to 1 for below average days compared to above average days. But I'm sure the rest of the winter is going to be above average. So,
oh, good.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we got some warm weather coming our way down the road, but certainly not tomorrow morning. First alert weather day in effect because of the temperatures that will be felt tonight through tomorrow morning. Small craft advisory up starting this evening because that front will be moving through and the winds will be picking up. Then that freeze watch in effect for areas east of the interstate particularly, but a wind chill advisory is up for everyone across the Suncoast. It's first alert time as we head into the evening hours particularly, but for this morning, not a bad start. 50 degrees by 7 a.m. under mostly sunny skies. Cool, but okay. And then sunny as we continue on into the afternoon by 12 noon. You'll notice the wind's probably starting to pick up a little bit, 61 degrees then, but then temperatures start to fall as we head into the later afternoon and evening. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Checking first alert traffic. Now a little blip there at the top center of your screen up there in Memphis. Northbound lane, little congestion there. We'll watch that. Also State Road 70 as usual. Issues there westbound just east of 301. Farther south now in the northern half of Sarasota County. We'll see some problems there east of the interstate on Clark Road. Be aware of that as you head in toward the city. And South County mostly clear. One little blip there around Tarpon Point. 6:02 now on your Wednesday morning.
And topping our news this half hour, former Chief White House strategist Steve Bannon now in the crosshairs of investigators looking into Russian interference in the election.
As ABC's Megan Hughes tells us, Bannon is now facing several subpoenas.
Steve Bannon stonewalling on Capitol Hill.
This was effectively a gag order by the White House.
Lawmakers frustrated at Bannon's refusal to comment on the transition or his time at the White House during roughly 10 hours of questioning. Though the president recently lashed out at Bannon saying he lost his mind, the White House is defending his silence.
We're going to continue to be cooperative, but we're also going to maintain some of the executive privileges here at the White House that have been practiced for decades and that need to be maintained.
If he's precluded from answering any questions during transition or administration, and many questions even after he left the White House, obviously we're not able to do our job.
It wasn't just Democrats frustrated. Bannon's lack of response provoked a subpoena from the panel's Republican chairman. The New York Times is also reporting Bannon's been subpoenaed by the special counsel to appear before a grand jury. This after comments Bannon allegedly made in the book Fire and Fury, including calling Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting at Trump Tower with the Russians treasonous. Bannon also allegedly suggesting that Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and his former campaign chairman Paul Manafort might have engaged in money laundering. A Democrat on the committee telling CNN,
"It won't surprise you to hear the fun detail that there was more than one copy of the recent book Fire and Fury in the room, and yet there he was saying, no, I won't answer those questions because I've been asked by the White House not to."
In addition to questions about the book, lawmakers were also hoping to get more details about the president's firing of former FBI Director James Comey. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
Another former player of the Trump team will testify before a House Intelligence Committee today. Campaign manager Corey Lewandowski has reportedly hired a lawyer for the investigation into Russian meddling into the election. Also, senior White House aide Rick Dearborn and communications director Hope Hicks are also expected to meet with the White House, or rather the House Committee, this week on Capitol Hill.
And the results of President Trump's physical are in. The 71-year-old president had the first annual exam of his presidency last Friday. And then yesterday, White House physician Ronnie Jackson released the results, saying the president weighs in at 239 pounds, and he's 6'3", which puts his body mass index a little bit into the overweight range. He said that he and the president will be working on a plan to shed 10 to 15 pounds. Now, besides those physical tests, a cognitive exam at the request of the president was also conducted that resulted in a perfect score.
A possible government shutdown is now just days away again.
And getting a deal on the DACA program, which protects nearly 800,000 young undocumented immigrants from deportation, may be holding up that funding bill. In an Oval Office meeting last week, the president rejected a proposed bipartisan plan. And then offensive comments the president allegedly made about Haiti and African countries then complicated those negotiations. Homeland Security Secretary Kirsten Nielsen attended the meeting and faced questions on Capitol Hill about just what she heard.
Did President Trump use this word or a substantially similar word to describe certain countries?
The conversation was very impassioned. I don't dispute that the president was using tough language. Others in the room were also using tough language.
The president also allegedly said he wants more immigrants from places like Norway during that meeting. Meanwhile, in the Oval Office yesterday, the president said he wanted immigrants from all countries. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says the administration wants to separate immigration issues from getting a budget deal finished.
All right, 6:06, new this morning, a group in California is trying to form a new California of their own. Founders are using a specific article from the U.S. Constitution to help secede from the state. The group already has their own Declaration of Independence, and now they say it'll take 10 to 18 months before they're ready to start their own legislature. Now, California officials have yet to comment on this situation.
Well, caught on camera, the sky lit up in southeast Michigan last night after reports of seeing a bright flash across the sky. Now, check out this video. Many people said that they heard, look at this, you could see the flash, and then they say that they heard a loud noise that sounded like a big bang or even a clap of thunder that followed. You're getting ready to see it here in just a second, too.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
What was that?
Imagine driving and seeing this. Now, the National Weather Service says it was not Thor. It was actually a meteor that even triggered a small earthquake.
Wow.
According to the United States Geological Survey, the earthquake was centered about 5 miles west-southwest of New Haven. Some social media reports, they even saw the flash as far away as Chicago in that case.
Happening in Florida now, 9 arrest warrants have been issued in last year's hazing death of an FSU fraternity pledge. This is 20-year-old Andrew Coffey. He died of alcohol poisoning at an off-campus party. His blood alcohol content was 5 times the legal limit for driving. So now 9 people are facing a felony charge. They're all between the ages of 20 and 22 years old.
In Tallahassee, a resolution telling Congress to indefinitely keep in place a ban on oil drilling in the Eastern Gulf unanimously passed a Florida Senate committee. Now, this comes a week after the Trump administration announced that the state would not be included in any potential expansion of oil drilling in the Gulf. State Senator Doug Broxson says the waters off Florida Gulf Coast and the air above it are actually vital for military training purposes, and any expansion of oil drilling could jeopardize more than 70,000 military jobs and the economic impact that comes from.
This bill sends a strong message that we are united no matter what our concerns are about other issues, and making sure we send that statement that we want to protect our military, our 20 military bases in the state of Florida.
Currently, there is a drilling ban off of Florida's Gulf Coast through 2022. Federal legislation to extend that ban has not yet been passed.
Well, good news about your Florida power and light bill. Due to the federal tax overhaul, FPL says it'll no longer have to bill customers a combined $1 billion surcharge to recoup losses from Hurricane Irma. FPL had initially planned to start billing customers in March for the restoration costs, but put those plans on hold after the tax overhaul was approved last month on Capitol Hill. FPL has been collecting extra amounts from customers since last March to cover restoration costs from Hurricane Matthew, which caused extensive damage along parts of the East Coast 2 years ago. Those extra charges, which topped $300 million, will end next month.
Well, we've all had that moment that you're driving, you see a yellow light, and you think you can probably just squeeze through it right before it turns red. Well, think again, because if you don't make it, it could end up costing you.
Now, the city of Sarasota could be seeing more red light cameras now. More on last night's commission meeting from Marla Spence live in downtown Sarasota. Marla?
Ray and Stephanie, that's right. More drivers could now start seeing red light cameras like this one on Fruitville Road pop up across Sarasota. This comes after a debate on whether more red light cameras should be placed throughout the city, and now city leaders are saying it's not a bad idea. Now, city commissioners voted 3-1 in favor of a new agreement. That plan would offer 20 red light cameras, with 6 of those having license plate recognition equipment installed at no charge to the city. Police say installing that technology could help during silver and amber alerts. Now, so far, that technology is on Longboat Key. There's no word yet on when or where those red light cameras will be placed throughout Sarasota. I'm Marla Spence reporting live on Fruitville Road for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.